Hi guys, good evening and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Skincare. I hope you've been enjoying the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about aging, and today is going to be the last in that series about aging. Before we get started, as always, I'd like to remind you that if you haven't had a chance, then please do have a look at undertaking a skin inventory. The idea is that you have a look at your skin, identify the key areas that you have problems with, and then this will help when you're looking at products or treatments with your aesthetic practitioner or your skincare therapist moving forward, and especially when we come out of lockdown. Also, if you would like to go back on and see some of the previous episodes, then please do check us out and follow us on Facebook, or you can also check us out on YouTube. And I'm under The Makeup Medic on YouTube, so they're available for you to catch up on once this is over. So this week we are going to be having a look at some of the other signs of aging, so the remaining signs of aging that we can experience. We've chatted through quite a few different sort of treatment strategies and strategies in terms of our skincare, and a lot of those will still apply to these last couple of things in terms of your skin, but we'll recap some of those towards the end. So far we've talked about wrinkles, we've talked a little bit about pigmentation, and we've talked very early on about the difference between dry and dehydrated skin, both of which can contribute to skin aging. So if you'd like to catch up on those, then as I said, do pop back and have a look at the previous episodes. This week we're going to be talking about dullness and about volume loss. And these two conditions, again, as I said, can be treated by some of the treatments we've mentioned already, but I will be telling you about one or two others that you can add into that arsenal to help you combat these problems. Bruising and sagging skin. So sagging skin comes alongside volume loss, so I'll be mentioning that as well. And then bruising, as we get a little bit older, our blood vessels become a little bit more delicate. And so one of the ways is through making sure that our skin is kept in good condition, and that we help to encourage collagen production. So again, looking at some of the treatment strategies that we've previously looked at. So this week, as I said, we're going to be having a quick look at volume loss and dullness. So starting off with volume loss. When we're young, our skin is quite plump and our cheeks are quite plump and our face is quite well filled out. As we get a little bit older, we find that some of that volume starts to disappear and we start to get some skin sagging occurring. And why does this happen? Well, one of the key things as we get older is that leads to hormonal changes, and hormonal changes have not just effects on our endocrine system, but also have effects on all of the other systems in our body, and in particular our skin. One of the things that is key is that we start to lose some of our collagen, and I've mentioned that before. And so some of the treatment strategies that I've mentioned are about trying to encourage collagen production and trying to encourage our skin to produce a little more collagen and to try and get it looking a little bit more plumper. We also start to lose the ability to retain water. So that hyaluronic acid, that magic stuff that we find in our skin, starts to deplete as we get a little bit older. And so making sure that that's replenished and trying to encourage our stores of hyaluronic acid is quite important as well. And some of the things we don't get to change an awful lot about, and one of those is the changes in our bone density and our bone reabsorption. As we get older, our bones in our face start to reduce in size, so they start to recede a little bit as we get that little bit older. One of the most noticeable places you'll see this is around the teeth and around the gum area. So the gums start to recede and the bones the teeth becoming a little bit looser. And this is all to do with changes in terms of the skin tissues themselves and the bone tissue itself. We also get changes in the fat pads that lie underneath our skin. As we get a little bit older, some of the ligaments that hold those fat pads in place can get altered. The fat pads themselves change in consistency and in composition, and they start to reduce a little bit. And so there's not an awful lot that we can do about that, unfortunately. But once they start to absorb, then that's a natural progression as we get a little bit older. So also those devilish external issues that we have. Exposure to UV sunlight is a major component of breaking down collagen and causing damage to the skin's tissues, and that can cause problems with skin sagging and volume loss as well. So really, when you look at those list of things, the things that we want to be trying to focus our treatment plans on would be around collagen synthesis, so encouraging collagen synthesis, helping to maintain those water stores and to prevent loss of water from the skin. So our hyaluronic acids and our good moisturizers and a good skincare routine. In terms of the fat pads and the volume loss, you can go down the road of looking at fillers, and certainly that is something that a lot of people do. Now, fillers are made up mostly, the majority of fillers these days are made up of hyaluronic acid, and this is cross-linked hyaluronic acid. So it's a more stable form than you would find in the serums, and the reason being is that it stays there and gradually dissipates. So once you get your filler put in, it attracts water into the area as well as providing physical structure. And then over time, it gradually gets broken down. And that breaking down is delayed by the way it's manufactured and the way it's cross-linked. So fillers are certainly one of the key things these days that people try and use to try and support and prevent that volume loss, or to try and reverse the appearance of that volume loss. The next thing we're going to talk about is dullness. So dullness is something that we can experience not necessarily as we get older, but can be something that we experience throughout life for various different reasons. Again, one of the things that can be key is sort of hormonal changes, and sometimes when we're younger, people suffer from difficulties with hormonal imbalances, and this can sometimes lead to dull skin that lacks that sort of luster, and that's slightly different to what we're talking about here in aging. So as we get that bit older, everything starts to slow down, including our skin turnover. So the rate at which our skin rejuvenates itself starts to slow down, and we can get sort of duller looking skin cells appearing on the surface. Poor circulation. So again, as we get older, our circulation doesn't work as well, and so encouraging circulation is really, really important. And whether that's through treatments or whether it's from simple massage when we're applying our skincare routine in the morning and the evening, and then we can encourage circulation to the skin, and that promotes the delivery of nutrients and accelerates the removal of toxins, and so that's really, really important. Dehydration, so again, we mentioned this lots and lots of different times, so keeping ourselves, our bodies hydrated as well as our skin hydrated is really, really important to promote the natural good function of our skin. If we're not hydrated and we're not got a reasonably good diet, so plenty of fruits and vegetables, and making sure we've got plenty of antioxidants coming in, then we can't really expect our skin to be anything but poor in terms of the way it looks or appears. As I mentioned, some medical conditions can lead to dullness of the skin, and sometimes they can be a little bit difficult and challenging to deal with. But again, and knowing that those medical conditions are there, you can then take measures to try and help to prevent the appearance of the skin. Of course, environmental again, so we're back to UV light, we're back to pollutants, we're back to smoking and things like that. Lack of sleep, and of course, stress can also affect the skin metabolism, and can lead to dullness. So a little about a treatment strategy then in terms of dullness. So we're looking really at making sure that we're using a good exfoliant, so once or twice a week, that we're not over exfoliating our skin, and that we're not causing our skin damage by over exfoliating. Treatments are products that contain hyaluronic acid to make sure they're hydrated. Plenty of antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin E can help as well. Vitamin A, your retinol or your retinoids, can help in skin preparations to make sure that your skin is maintained and healthy, and to continue that exfoliation process, as well as treatments. So peels are ideal. The beauty about peels is not only do they remove the outer layers of skin, but that also encourages our skin to back into action and to improving the skin turnover. And then you can look at therapies such as microneedling, which is a collagen induction therapy. And the basis of that is that the microtraumas to the skin cause collagen formation and help to rejuvenate the skin and improve collagen, thereby elasticity, and then can improve volume as well. So that's a particularly good one. You can also look at things like mesotherapy, and again, mesotherapy is a combination of using components that are in the ampules to provide nutrition and hydration to the skin, and then the actual action of the needle itself causing microtrauma, again encouraging fibroblasts, encouraging collagen and elastin production, and thereby helping to maintain the skin's elasticity and that more youthful appearance, and also then keeping that dullness at bay. So that's a quick lowdown. I'm not going to go over some of the products again because really we've talked about those in previous sessions. So you've got your Glow series if you're looking for brightening and to improve pigmentation, and that again can help with dullness. You're looking at things like your hydrating and moisturizing complexes if you've got dry and dehydrated skin. And then you're looking at your exfoliants and your peels in terms of treatments. If anybody has any questions, if you want to pop them into the comment section now, and I'll try and answer them online. If not, then I can answer them a little bit later on. Okay, so a little bit. So next week, I'm going to be going to start to talk about some specific treatments and some very, very specific treatments that you can get. And next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit about microneedling. We're going to talk about what the principle of microneedling is, what the process is like, and also how we can combine microneedling with some ampules and some skin nutrients that really will help to elevate the treatment. So you're not just getting the basic microneedling treatment, you're also getting nourishment to the skin and improving very, very specific skin conditions. So next week, as I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about microneedling. I'm going to take you through the process of what it is and how it works, and then talking about some of the additional things that you can add into a microneedling treatment to help improve the effects of that treatment and to help reduce things like your static lines. So there haven't been any questions at the moment, but as I said, if you do have questions, then please do pop them in the comments or send me a quick message. If you'd like to have a chat about your own specific skincare needs, then please do drop me a line. I am doing online consultations at the moment during lockdown, and so I'd be happy to have a chat with you about the different things that might be available to you after lockdown, or indeed if you want to try out some skincare products while you're in lockdown to help improve various skin conditions. So do have a little look at, do send me a message if you want me to have a one-to-one consultation about that. As always, I do a quick roundup of things that are happening online with some of the gang. So on a Thursday is Kevin Coyle, and he does Food You Believe It. And I think Kevin does a kids one in the morning at 11 o'clock, and then in the evening does an adult version. But he next week is starting a post-lockdown healthy eating and is doing some very interesting low-calorie recipes to help you lose that lockdown weight. Friday night is Spice. You can check out Spice on Facebook at Spice Drag. Spice does a quiz on a Friday night. Sunday sees Piano Bingo, and that's the Bedford Tavern in Brighton on a Sunday. On a Tuesday, then Ruffles, that's the Only Ruffles on Facebook, does a pub quiz live now, because Lanzarote has opened up, from a pub in Lanzarote, and that I think is about 4:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and that's always worth some fun. So I have actually had one question come through about what can you use after microneedling for optimum effect. So most product ranges will have a specific product that will help to repair and rejuvenate the skin. With microneedling, it causes a microtrauma. So what you want to be aiming to do is to nourish and revitalize the skin. So you want to make sure that it's getting plenty of the nutrients and polypeptides and oligopeptides that it might need after your microneedling. So immediately after the process, the important thing is to use something like a repair gel or a repair serum that helps to initially help with the process of the healing. Once it moves on from there, it's important to make sure that you're using nourishing products, that you're using lots of SPF. You don't want to be causing further damage to the skin that's actually being repaired. So you want to use a strong SPF. You want to keep it well hydrated, so plenty of hyaluronic acid. You want to make sure that the moisturizer that you're using is nourishing. And again, that you're using things like vitamin C, vitamin E to nourish the skin and to help it improve its skin tone and texture. There are then some collagen products that you can use that help to improve the collagen production of the skin topically, and they are also quite good at using after microneedling. So basically the important thing is to make sure that your skin is nourished and revitalized. And I will go through some more of this next week, but I hope that answers your question there, Siobhan, and I hope that's helpful. I should say that the important thing to remember microneedling is that, so although you get the immediate effect of microneedling effect will the skin will continue to reorganize and redevelop for up to 12 months after a microneedling treatment. So if you're getting regular treatments, you would do a course of 6 and then see how you get on, but it continues to rebuild and restructure over a full 12-month period, and we'll go through all that next week, and when we're talking specifically about microneedling. So again, Siobhan said, I hope that answers your question. If you have any other questions, then please do pop them in the comments, and be more than happy to answer them via messaging or on the comments section. And as I said, if you want a specific chat about your own skincare, then please do drop me a line. And next week we'll be talking a little bit about microneedling, what it is, how it works on the skin, and what sort of conditions it can be used to treat. So look forward to seeing you next week. As I said, if you haven't checked out your skin inventory or done your skin inventory, then do pop along to TK Aesthetics, www.tkaesthetics.com, to check out the skin inventory. And I will see you all next week when we'll be talking a little bit about microneedling and some of the ways that we can use products to really enhance those microneedling